right, guys, welcome back. Today is part 7 of Wishtree, and we are almost halfway through this book already. Quick, huh? All right, so chapter 22. Also, the last time that we read, Bongo and Red were trying to come up with a plan to help Samar and Stephen be friends, because Samar's wish was that she could be friends with Stephen. So, chapter 22. We executed plan number 1 an hour and a half later when Stephen headed off to school. He'd only gotten as far as the sidewalk when Bongo dove straight toward his backpack. Poking at the zipper with her beak, she cawed frantically. When crows want to be loud, they can be extremely loud. Sorry. What? Stephen cried. What is wrong with you, bird? He dropped his backpack to the ground. Bongo landed on the backpack, looking up at him hopefully, and said, "Chip, please," she said. Stephen rolled his eyes. Seriously? "Hello," Bongo said. "Chip, please." Stephen put his hands on his hips. "Okay, fine. I've seen you in action, working the bus line." Bongo hopped to the ground as Stephen unzipped his backpack. "You rock," she said politely. Stephen pulled out his lunch bag and opened it. "Let's see. I've got a tuna fish sandwich, carrot sticks." But before he could say anything more, Bongo plunged into the backpack, grabbed a sheet of paper, and flew skyward. "Hey, that's my English homework," Stephen cried. "Come back here, you thief." Bongo flew high into my branches and landed with a victorious caw. Stephen stalked around the bottom of my trunk, where the yellow police tape encircled me. "Please, Crow," he pleaded. "I'll give you my whole sandwich. Please." Bongo perched on the paper, freeing her beak. "No way," she replied. A few more minutes of grumbling, and Stephen gave up. "Great," he muttered as he grabbed his backpack. "Miss Kellerman is never going to believe it when I tell her that a crow ate my homework." So now we got to figure out why Bongo did that. Chapter 23. When Samar exited her house, it was time for the rest of our plan. She paused, as she always did, to say hello, and Bongo, as she always did, said hello back. But this time, Bongo surprised Samar by landing on her shoulder and presenting her with a mangled piece of paper. Samar took it from Bongo. "This has Stephen's name on it. Why on earth do you have it?" "No way," Bongo said, by way of answer. "Well, I'll be sure he gets this," Samar said. Bongo gave a little caw and headed back to me. Perfect. A simple plan, beautifully executed. Samar would give the homework to Stephen. They'd strike up a conversation about how the crazy crow who lived in the big oak tree. They'd laugh, they'd share, they'd realize they have a lot in common, and voila, friendship. It was a great plan. Except for the part that came just seconds later, the part where Samar noticed a friend of Stephen's walking by. She dashed over and asked him to give Stephen the piece of paper. And that was that. "Meddling isn't as easy as I thought it would be," I confessed to Bongo. "Hey, I did my part." "You were wonderful," I said. "Well, we'll just have to try again. We don't have a lot of time." "Red," Bongo said with a sigh, "please don't remind me." So, they don't have a lot of time before what? I know. Let's see if we can do this without you guys. They don't have a lot of time before what?
Before red is cut down.
Before red is cut down. Good. All right. Chapter 24. That afternoon, we tried. Oops. That afternoon, we tried plan number 2. This isn't going to work, Red, Bongo said, strutting back and forth on the lawn. Pessimist, I said. Optimist, she replied. Secretly, I had my doubts too. Our second plan required help from one of the babies. Oh, this is a great story. There'd been much bickering over which baby would get to assist us. But then, there'd been plenty of bickering ever since Francesca's threat to cut me down. It frustrated me to see my residents, the ones who'd miraculously been getting along so well, turn on one another when faced with a problem. Granted, it was a big problem. But if I could handle it, it seemed like the least they could do was behave during our last days together. Bongo flipped a penny she kept in her collection of treasures, and we arrived at our helper, the smallest baby possum. And remember, possums are named after things that they're scared of. The smallest baby possum named Flashlight. Let me get this straight, said Bongo. You're afraid of Shh! Harry Spiders hissed. We try not to say that word around him. So what do you actually call him? Agnes asked. He answers to Flash. Harry Spiders explained. All right, I gotta walk inside. It's raining. Well, Flash, said Bongo, you understand the drill, right? You pretend to be dead. You guys are good at that, right? It's not going to be my best YouTube video. Flash nodded excitedly. Possums are the best dead pretenders in the world. So you play dead. Samara and Steven see you as they're coming home from school. We're hoping they come home at about the same time today, I interrupted, and they'll freak out, Bongo continued. They'll see the cute little, maybe dead, baby talk about what to do. Are you certain this is safe? Asked Harry Spiders. I'm feeling a little faint just thinking about it. We'll all be watching, and Steven and Samar are smart kids, I reassured her. They'll know not to touch a sick animal. So they go get their parents, call a wildlife rescue place or maybe a vet, and while they're busy, Bongo continued, little Flash runs back to his den. Samar and Steven come back out, have a good laugh about the vanishing possum. Maybe the parents even get to talking. I really think you would do a better job, Big U complained. She's a born actor. Or you. This has been officially decided, Bongo said finally. Firmly. We flipped the penny, remember? I'm just saying, Big U muttered. Down the street, the school dismissal bell rang. Places, everyone, Bongo urged. This is totally going to work, I said. This is totally going to fail, Bongo said at the very same time. Chapter 25. And action, Bongo whispered. Little Flash waddled up to the middle of the curb. Yes, all right. Little Flash waddled up to the middle of the lawn. He lay down on his side and curled up. He closed his eyes. He drew back his lips, revealing tiny needle-sharp teeth. Perfect, Bongo said. Try foaming at the mouth, dear, Harry Spiders called. Can you see his little eyeball that's open over there? We'll talk a little bit about possums after this. Down the street, we could see Steven approaching. Luckily, Samar was just a few yards behind him. Flash leapt up. How am I doing, Ma? Wonderful, baby, said Harry Spiders. Mommy's so proud of her little baby possum. Be dead, Bongo cried. Oh, yeah, Flash shrugged. I kind of forgot, Aunt Bongo. I'm not your aunt, Bongo said. I'm not even a member of your species. Well, that doesn't matter, I chided. Be dead, Bongo cried again. Flash hiccuped. Oh my, said Harry Spiders. He does that when he's nervous. How come I can't be dead, Mom? Asked Rose Petal. Newbies, quiet, Bongo commanded. Flash, stop hiccuping, dude. Here they come, I whispered. Stephen and Samar. The hiccups got louder. Flashlight, Bongo said. Now! Don't call him that, his mother cried. Flashlight froze. He stopped hiccuping. Foam dripped from his mouth. His half-open eyes were glazed and unseeing. The works, Bongo whispered. Brilliant! Stephen found Flash first. Samar was close behind. What should we do? Stephen asked. Oh, sweet success, I thought. They were actually talking to one another. Don't touch it, said Samar. It might be rabid, or it could just be plain dead. I read that possums do that. Let me go get my mom. Maybe she can call someone. Sounds good. To my disappointment, Stephen and Samar nodded at each other and promptly went into separate houses. Once again, that was that. All that work, just for a few moments of conversation? How exactly did people make friends? How hard could it be? Still, I reminded myself, Stephen and Samar had spoken to each other, and that was a good first step, wasn't it? Flash, Bongo called. Time to go back to your den, buddy, before they come back. Flash remained frozen in a little possum ball. Flash, I called. Flash, baby, Harry Spiders yelled. Oh my, said Big U. I don't think your baby's acting. My baby, my precious Flash, cried Harry Spiders, and Flash's brothers and sisters all began to wail. You really should have used one of my U's, Big U said. Flash, stop being dead, Bongo yelled. She hopped over to Flash and gently poked him with her beak. How dare you peck my son, Harry Spiders yelled. Flash, I'll save you, baby. Harry Spiders dashed out of her hollow, scrambled down my trunk, and promptly fainted. Oh, great, said Bongo. Just fantastic. Like mother, like son. What now, wise old tree? You grab Flash, I instructed. Fresh baked bread and Big U. Can you rescue Harry Spiders? Pull her over to Fresh's den under the porch. Harry Spiders called my children boisterous, Big U said. You said my children stink, Fresh Baked Bread said. Over 2 centuries of her life, and I'd hardly ever raised my voice. But this was one of those times. Now, I commanded, just as the door to Stephen's house opened. You'd be surprised how fast raccoons and skunks can be when they're motivated. All right, I'm going to stop right there. Stop recording.